ADA, we start with 1 hour chart. Okay, as we can see, the price almost reached near to the 1.48, and now we get this sharp move down. Okay, since we have been looking for buy after the price tag almost won. Okay, and we have a few opportunity. The best opportunity we have been looking for in our analysis was this too. When the price was here, our update was to look for buy, but after we get this the drop, then this is where we could, the traders, they could look for buy, because the first, when the price was here, I mentioned anyone in the trade, they should take out the trade because the price can reverse. All right, no, even when the price was here, we mentioned to look for trades, buy, but it depends on the traders how they get, because the only way to trade having entry above this, or looking for the reversal, what I can see here based on 15 minute, to look for this one. After we get this drop, this is where we could look for next sharp move with a correction, or as I mentioned, rather than that, having a tree above the stop. Okay, anyway, since we have been looking for buy after the price dropped to 1, and the best opportunity again was where we were looking at here, because we have been, when the price was here, we mentioned whether the price, how we can look for trade and all the possibility. And now when the price come here, as we can see, usually every times in my analysis, when we see this kind of the move at the top, we mentioned we need to be quite careful. Okay, and even if we put this one in relative to this, if we move to this indicator, we see the divergence, but the MACD doesn't show us. Okay, now we get the sharp move down, because we wanted the price to continue and break the top, which is 1.494, but the price almost near to there, and we get the sharp move down. No, this is the reversal, or we can expect for whether price correct here or reverse and break the top and continue. Okay, usually we can see this kind of the sharp this kind of the sharp move as a reversal, but mostly no, we don't need to panic, we need to wait, because we need to see, we cannot say this is the where the price going to reverse. Okay, the reason is mostly we can see this kind of the move when we have the top. Okay, anyway, if we want to look for buy, we need to wait and see entirely how this one can form. Okay, by the way, now we want to see how we can trade it. Maybe we start to daily chart. All right. Okay, as we can see, based on daily chart, we have been within this move, down move, and what we expected for the price to reverse. After the break this correction and continuation with the breakout of the top. But as you can see, the price almost near to the top, and now we get this. Now, whether there is a continuation, or still we can expect we will be within the bigger correction before we get the next move. Okay, mostly we are interested the price to break and continue, but the only thing is this is what we're looking for. That's why buying at the top without having a trade setup is not a good idea. Okay, based on daily chart, we have nothing to mention right now. In this case, we move to forward chart. We want to see how we can trade it and what we have been looking for. All right, before we talk about how we can look for trade, just we refer to what we have been within. Okay, this is just may help the traders at least to understand when the way we're looking at this correction. Okay, as the price was here, we mentioned the price can drop, and this is what we have been looking for, 1 and 0.9, because we mentioned if the price break 1, the next level we're looking for is 0.9. And as we can see, one times the price tag, then the second times the price was there, it couldn't break. Okay, that's why when we see this one, I mentioned maybe this is the only correction, and this is the last move, which is including the tree, which is the breakout of this. Any trade can give us a good trade, and we had 2 opportunity to buy here. This is the where best we could look for buy. And the second opportunity was buying there from here. But buying within this correction, in terms of the trade setup, we didn't get a really easy and perfect trade setup. It depends on the traders. But buying here, 2, if I later based on 1 hour chart, we can see 2 is, we had the 2 opportunity. One of them was the flag above, almost somewhere around here. The another one was the sharp move with a correction here. Okay, because when we want to get the trade, I mentioned if we can get the buy here at the bottom of the correction, is better, it can give us better trade and better confirmation and easier for us to trade rather than buying it after we get the continuation. All right, by the way, what I want to say is that when we have been looking for this move, the question was whether this is the correction and this one can give us bigger move. That's mean including the three ways by the, I mean, because at that time we mentioned the price can drop to 0.9, or this is the only correction and this is the last wave. That's why we have been looking for this. This is the reason why sometimes we have a different opportunity, but when the price, I mean, different options when we're looking at the trade. Okay, but in either way, when the price was here, we mentioned since the price cannot break this one and can drop, any buy from there, we take it and we start to manage it. And even I was keep mentioning, as long as the price haven't broke this top and this low, we are within this correction. But any move we are going to get is really sharp. This is what we get. Okay, that's why when the price was within this, we keep mentioning how we can look for buy. But if I mention whenever we're taking any buy, if it is not moving, we take out the trade. We don't stay with the trade. We look for the next opportunity. Okay, if anyone was following me, maybe they didn't get any good trade within this, but where they could get the trade was here. All right, but what I want to say is that may some of the trade I have, since we are looking for ADA when the price was within this move, I see a lot of the people, they put the comment they bought here. Even if they bought here, after they get this move, may they get easily, they could take out the trade, or they get also they get a profit if they still in the trade within after the price reach almost to the stop. Okay, but the best was to look for the trade from here. We're talking about the risk and reward, because if we get the trade anywhere within this range, later based on 1 hour chart, we can look. I can show you, because at that time the price stop loss should be somewhere around here. This is what they risk, and this is what they get, because we're looking at the risk and reward. That's why we trading this one. We want to get the best opportunity in terms of the risk and reward. Even if anyone is buying at the for the long term, the different buying here at around 1.1 or buying 1.3 is too different. They can make more profit if they buy here, if they know how to look for this correction. Because since the price was within this correction, I was keep mentioning this one can drop, this one can drop. Even when I put the price at one, a lot of the I get a lot of the comments that they mention I don't know what I'm talking about. Even I put 0.9, but when we put 0.9, we mention if the price can break this low. Because I put these two lines together. I mentioned if the price can break one, the next level I'm looking for is 0.9. But what I'm looking for buy. I'm looking for the best opportunity. Okay. Also, there was an opportunity to buy from here. By the way, uh, the reason I'm mentioning all these things is how we can look for the trade, how we can read all this correction, and sometimes we have a different option. And the last option was this is what we're looking for, because we mentioned maybe this is the last move with the 1 2 3. Even we have a divergence between these two. This is what we can see. And even based on MACD. That's why when the price was here, I mentioned maybe if we get any reversal from here. By the way, now we want to see what's the next and how we can look for next trade. If I move to 1 hour chart, okay, this is what I was talking. Even if we refer to what analyzes when the price was here, we mentioned the only way we can trade was based on 15 minutes. If you move to 15-minute chart, we can see exactly this is what I mentioned. And this is the another one. There was one opportunity from here, the another one opportunity from here, because we were looking at the breakout of this. Okay, now if I move to 1 hour chart, this is just how we have been looking for trade. And when the price was here, also we mentioned we're looking for buy, but in terms of the opportunity, the only way was to have entry above the stop or the breakout of what I should be here based on 15 minutes. But the best thing was to look for buy from here. Okay, now the thing is how we can trade it based on what we have right now. As I mentioned, every time we have this kind of the moves in our analysis, if anyone following me, we have been mentioning whenever we see this kind of the move, we're mentioning the price can drop, and similar, exactly similar to what we have here. But I didn't have the update for this part. Okay, now if you want to look for trade, we cannot trade it right now. The only thing is if anyone in the trade, they have to start to manage the trade. Okay, because if there is a continuation, for example, if the price we can it's going to reverse, even we want to look for sell, we need to get the short at least a correction before we look for sell. And even if we want to look for buy, we need to see whether this one can turn to bigger correction or we get any reversal with the flag. This is simply what we can see. And the only things I can say, if you want to look for buy, wait for the see how this can form, how this whether this turn to a bigger correction or not. But how about if the price sharply reverse? Okay, this is the top 1.494. If the price can sharply reverse, the only way is to have entry above the top. But how about if the price tag and again drop? Okay, it depends on the traders whether they can have entry above the top or not. I mean, they can manage it or not. If the price tag and reverse, then how they're going to manage it? Okay, again, if you want to have look for buy in case the price reverse from here without giving us a trade setup, having entry above this, or we wait for the reversal, break the top, then we get the correction of like at above the top, which is 1.494. Then from there they look for trade. This is the safest way to trade. Okay, rather than that, we need to see how we can look for trade within this. We have to wait for to get the correction. Right now we don't have any things, and we don't have any other reasons to look for buy rather than the two option having entry or wait for the breakout for the flag. Okay, and even if the price sharply reverse from here within this range, I don't think we have. I mean, we can trade it. I mean, if we want to look for trade setup, without trade setup, yeah, we can jump into the trade. Okay. Now, what I can say is that the first things we can expect, this one even can continue to take the top as a corrective. Okay, I don't think we can look for trade setup unless this one based on 15 minutes become sharp with the flag. Then from this, yes, we can take the risk and we buy with the continuation. But if this one start to move similar to what I drew as a corrective, mostly we can expect one more drop. Based on what we have right now, this is what we can see. Okay, by the way, we don't have any trade setup right now. Okay, and if we want to look for trade right now, the only thing is the first things we see, we need to wait and see what we get here. Whether we get any for buy sharp move with the flag, even based on 15 minutes, then we can look for buy. But if the price sharply reverse, the only way is having a trip above the top or with the breakout of the flag. But what we are expecting based on these two options, sharp move, not the corrective move. And if the price tag within 1 or 2 hours, we don't need to stay more than that. VC is not moving. We don't know. I mean, we take out the trade. We don't stay with the trade because we don't want to buy at the top. I don't want to say the price is going to drop. I want to say that we have to protect our trade if it's not moving. Okay, by the way, we just wait and see what we get after a few hours. And as I mentioned right now, maybe we just look at the 15 minute, we see whether we can get any trade set up whether from 15 minutes or not. And in this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will I will share. And rather than that, we have nothing. The only thing is when we put these two in relative to each other, one of the indicators show me the divergence. Already we get the down move, but the MACD we doesn't give us anything else. Okay, and how about again if I move to 15 minutes, how we can look at this chart? Nothing. We don't have any uh, types of the flat to look and put in a relative to each other. All right. By the way, we just follow the chart. If I see an update, I will share and trade with care. Thanks.